And for the latest on how Cyclone Alfred is tracking, here's the Weather Bureau's Angus Hines. Angus, good evening once again. Good to have you with us. Now, firstly, how's the cyclone tracking and what can you tell us about when and where it'll make landfall?
Good evening. Yeah, thanks for having me once again. Tropical Cyclone Alfred is getting very close to the country now. It's within about 20 or 30 kilometres of the islands off of the Brisbane coast. So North Stradbroke Island and Moreton Island, about 20 k's away. So it is really bearing down on that part of the country. Of course, we continue to see the strong impacts of Alfred affecting the east coast with very strong damaging wind gusts, heavy rainfall and flooding all occurring at the moment as Alfred gets closer and closer. It's likely to cross those outer islands in the next few hours, probably the first couple of hours of tomorrow morning, and then it will probably take a few hours from that point to cross over Moreton Bay and reach mainland Queensland fairly early in the day tomorrow though, perhaps around about 6 a.m, something like that. So it is going to be a really disturbed and restless night with strong winds, damaging to destructive gusts, heavy rain and flooding across southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales, unfortunately, as Alfred approaches and crosses.
Yes, and Angus, as we speak at the moment, what are the worst hit areas that are being affected, I think, by gale-force winds?
Yeah, so once again, the Gold Coast is really being battered around by very, very strong winds, over 100 kilometres an hour at the Gold Coast today. And even in the last few hours, we've seen those gusts get even stronger. So that continues to be one area which is being hit very hard by strong winds. But we also see very, very strong winds through Coolangatta, Tweed Heads, down towards Byron Bay, parts of the Northern Rivers as well. We have started to see those winds pick up in Brisbane tonight. They still haven't quite reached the same intensity there, but it is on the way up as those winds are strengthening and will continue to do so into the early hours of tomorrow morning.
And Angus, how much rain have we had already and how much can communities in Queensland and New South Wales expect in the coming days?
Some places have had a whole lot of rain already. There's a couple of weather stations that we've got in the mid-north coast of the Northern Rivers around Dorrigo and Meldrum, which have had over 500 millimetres of rain throughout the course of the event so far. And there is more on the way that is going to continue to push those numbers up. There will be other places that see similar amounts of rainfall. 250 to 500 millimetres will be some of the higher values in there. And that's going to be over a 24-hour period between, well, now and this time tomorrow. Following on from that, we could get another very wet day for parts of southeast Queensland in particular, but also continuing to be wet through the Northern Rivers and Northern Tablelands in New South Wales. So over the next 48 hours, some places could see 500 to 800 millimetres of rain. That is a lot of rain. Anywhere in the world, that is a lot of rain. And if we do see those numbers, that will lead to significant flooding. It already is leading to flooding. So the further upcoming rainfall is only going to add to and exacerbate and extend the current flooding situation.
Okay, Angus Hines, really appreciate all the work that you're doing at the Weather Bureau. Thank you so much.
Thank you.